Hello and welcome back to our second video in the series on sarcopenia. So in the last episode we discussed the definition and diagnosis of sarcopenia, so what kind of performance tests and metrics that we use to determine how severe it is and whether someone needs to go through an intervention to treat it. And we also looked into some of the causes, and as we learned, it's not purely a symptom of just aging itself. There are certain lifestyle factors which contribute and accelerate the speed of deterioration over time. So if we know that there are certain things we can do, then today the idea behind this is giving you the tools to understand what the treatment is, what we know from the literature, and how, if you are someone who is worried about this or concerned that you might be on your way to developing sarcopenia based on some of the signs and symptoms that I discussed earlier, then this is what we know is the most effective forms of treatment so far. And in terms of the benefits that you get from it, they are going to be vast. So let's dive into it. So when we look at the most superior methods or strategies to manage and treat sarcopenia, by far resistance training always comes up as the most superior thing that we can do if we are looking to treat it and ensure that we age in a way that is going to prevent us from deteriorating fast. So resistance training is by far the most potent anabolic stimulus, and we know this from the literature that it is just so effective at treating it because of the fact that your muscles are being forced to produce force, work, contract. You are getting so many neuromuscular and systemic benefits from just exerting yourself and working on developing your capacity and building strength. Now, in terms of what resistance training means, it is purely just a form of resistance. So you don't need to be getting to the gym and doing multiple workouts a week using weights and machines, but you can use your body weight if you struggle to get to the gym, or bands. So there is absolutely no reason why anyone should not be able to do it. It obviously depends on what you have access to, and I think in some cases the gym can be more of a proactive environment, because for me personally, I think if I don't have a gym to go to, it's harder for me to motivate myself when I'm at home to just do a home workout. When I have access to amazing kits and things at my disposal, I can get there and it forces me to do it because of the fact that I'm in that environment. I can get into a good zone and flow state when I'm exercising or training. So I think if you are the kind of person that struggles to motivate yourself in general, actually getting a membership or signing up to some online classes, something that's going to just get your body moving twice a week. You don't need to do more than that in terms of the treatment side of things. Obviously, you can do more, as in 3 would be ideal, 3 full body sessions a week. But again, if not, 2 is also perfectly fine as long as you hit some other forms of cardiovascular work, whether that's walking or cycling or running, whatever you like to do. So yes, resistance training is by far the most potent. They've also seen that when people resistance train, they are more responsive to protein feedings as well. So not only does it improve the amount of muscle mass and strength you have by doing resistance training, but you are also more receptive to protein feedings, which means that the anabolic resistance we have associated with aging is almost less potent because of the fact that we can respond better to it. What's also interesting is when we have compared younger and older trained adults, there is no significant differences or comparable differences in their function, which is great news because it means that if you are training from a younger age, you will still be able to benefit from maintaining the muscle function, mass, and strength, which means that your ability to age more efficiently is going to be so much better. So not only are you going to stay healthier for longer, but you are not going to be experiencing the same loss in terms of physical function compared to someone who isn't doing any forms of resistance training. So if we know that the muscle fibers maintain their performance and integrity, we are more responsive to protein feedings. And in terms of actually what you need to do in the gym as well, studies have also shown if you're trying to build muscle, there is no significant differences between whether you do high or moderate rep ranges or lower rep ranges, which are focused more on higher loads. But if we are trying to elicit greater increases in strength than resistance training, which is focused on strength-based work, which is above 60% of your 1 rep max, which is the maximum amount of weight that you can move. And after that, it's like you can't do any more than 1 rep. If it's above 60%, which counts in this study as strength work, then you are more likely to build strength, or it favors building strength. So if we have a hierarchy of priorities and resistance training is at the top, nutrition follows as a close second. So as we know in the last episode, we mentioned that 0.8 grams per kilo of body weight is the minimum. 1 to 1.2 grams per kilo of body weight per day is the expert recommended guideline. But for people or adults who are resistance training, that figure is seen as the optimal at 1.6 grams per kilo of body weight per day. So if we know that things like anabolic resistance is potent as we age, we are less efficient at responding to anabolic stimuli like resistance training or protein feedings, then naturally it just makes sense to try and eat more. But also looking at the quality of that protein as well. So leucine-rich foods, which is the amino acid, an essential amino acid, which your body cannot synthesize from other amino acids. It has to be ingested like protein itself. That is highly concentrated in things like whey, dairy, eggs, chicken, mostly animal-based proteins, but we are starting to see that there are vegan supplemented protein powders which also have high amounts of leucine in them as well. So we don't necessarily have to have them just through animal-based sources, but they are seen as a little bit more superior in terms of the amino acid profile and in terms of how easily we can absorb and digest that protein. So in terms of how much leucine we need per meal, 3 to 4 grams is what we should be aiming for. So that is the equivalent of having like a cup of cottage cheese or dairy-based product, a larger serving of beef, for example, like a palm-sized portion, or similar of chicken, about 100 grams. So again, it's just having protein as the main part of your meal is a set way to make sure that you're getting enough, especially if you're having 3 a day. Having 30 grams of protein at each meal would definitely, for most people, set you up for having at least 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilo of body weight. So that's where we should be aiming for in terms of the nutritional sides of things. And if you are having plant-based sources like beans, lentils, legumes, just make sure that you're having a little bit more and combining sources, because when we combine them, for example, like wheat protein with black beans, that makes a complete protein. So you can absolutely get enough protein through a plant-based diet, but you just have to be a little bit smarter about how you design and structure your meals. Another one, if we are looking at improving muscle function and strength, is creatine, which not only has muscular benefits, but cognitive benefits as well. So we know that creatine is by far the most widely researched supplement within the sports science industry, and for good reason as well. So we know that creatine is very difficult to get from food sources alone. So by supplementing, we just make sure that we get a good 5-gram serving each day, and that will support both improvements in strength, lean mass, and performance as well. So you will get stronger at a faster rate. And this is proven time and time again. So I think in older populations especially, and if you are at high risk, then taking creatine is also a steadfast way to help preserve muscle mass and strength as we age. In terms of the nutrition side of things, my advice would be to look at your overall week. If you are someone who is struggling to cook at the moment and prepare home-cooked meals, then thinking about what you're ordering or getting on a day-to-day lunch, for example. So if you're going to Waitrose or Tesco's and getting a meal deal, then why don't you look at the options which have higher protein in them or contain something that you know is protein, like fish or chicken or beef, and making sure that that becomes the staple of every single meal. For breakfast, if you're having porridge, why don't you add some protein to that or have some Greek yogurt with it? If you're having toast in the morning, add some eggs. Same goes with dinner. Can you add some beans or legumes to it instead of your pasta all the time? These things will make a difference in the long term, and supplement as and when you need to. So I take protein powders because it just makes it easier for me to make sure that I get enough protein in, because it's quite difficult to just eat loads of chicken or eat loads of eggs and things, because protein is very satiating. So for me to just be able to drink it and know that I've ticked that box off is very easy to do, and it's pretty accessible as well and tastes good. So if you're someone who does struggle a little bit to eat or has a lower appetite, then just take some protein shakes as well. Like, it's not a bad thing at all. Some people, if you have a dairy intolerance, that's why we have vegan options there for you as well. So there's an option out there for everyone in terms of the nutrition department. And my other one would be to just add a scoop of creatine to your water. So as soon as you get out of bed, creatine in the water, down it, it's done. You don't have to think about it. If you don't like doing that, or you feel like the taste and the texture is a bit weird, which some people dislike, then pop it in your shake in the morning. You won't notice it. Two very easy things you can do to just make sure that you're getting it in, or just take the creatine tablets. They're just a bit weird tasting sometimes, so that will come down more to a personal preference. But yeah, I would just say 2 resistance training sessions to get started with. Weights, bands, machines, whatever you want to go with. Invest in a trainer if you need to. Second one is look at your meals, see where you can add more protein in. You want 30 grams per meal, which is approximately a palm-sized portion. The third one is get your creatine in, and the fourth and final one will be just to make sure that you get outside at least once a day. I don't care if that's for 20 minutes that you're getting in sunlight, but making sure that you go outdoors, you get up from your chair and go for a walk up the stairs, walk down the stairs. I don't care what that is, just make sure you have at least 20 minutes a day where you're moving and off your phone and off your chair. The final one I would say is just, again, stress management. We know that stress is not necessarily like horrific for you if you have small amounts of it, but large amounts definitely have a negative consequence on your overall health. So making sure that you're managing that as well by making sure that you get enough sleep so you can recover well between your workouts and your daily schedules, and making sure you just have that time to turn off in the evening. So you turn your phone off, put it in another room, you stop working 3 hours before bed. Having that time is extremely important for your mental well-being as well as your physical well-being. So I'm going to finish with some final myth-busting things. So sarcopenia is not just normal because you're aging. We have seen, even if you Google right now, masters bodybuilders, you will see people who are 60 plus. There's even, I've seen someone on stage who was 80 in the most insane shape you've ever seen. It is not purely a symptom of aging, but we can definitely prevent things from happening. And instead of just bearing witness to it and allowing things to go along their natural course, you can do something about it to stop it. So it is not just part of the aging process. It is something that deteriorates faster if you do not address certain lifestyle factors. The second one is that resistance training is just for bodybuilders. We know that that's not the case because there wouldn't be an Olympic weightlifting category in the Olympics. We know that CrossFit is also not just bodybuilders. Building muscle is about so much more than just the aesthetic alone, but more about what it teaches you physically and mentally, how to look after yourself. It teaches you how to withstand difficult challenges, because weightlifting is hard and it's brutal on your body. And also just getting to the gym and exerting yourself is also uncomfortable, and we don't like discomfort. But you see bodybuilders as the very extreme end of weightlifting. It's not the general population. So absolutely it is for everyone, and you don't have to be in a gym to resistance train. It can be whatever is most convenient and comfortable for you, as long as you get it done and as long as you are consistent. So the third one is walking is just enough, or doing cardio is just enough. Yes, it's better than nothing, but like I said, we know that the most potent anabolic stimulus is resistance training, so why wouldn't you do it? I'm going to use an example of my dad here, and a couple of years ago he had an extremely severe bike accident. He was over 50 at the time. He came off his bike, fractured his hip and pelvis, and it was so severe that he had to have an operation and basically a plate put in to fix everything back in place. He was told by the surgeons and the doctors that his recovery would be a year before he could get back to being on the bike, and he was crushed by it. I wasn't there, but my brother was, and he said that he was extremely frustrated to hear the news. As soon as he could get out of that hospital room and bed, he started to do his physical therapy work every single day. He is now in a position where he is cycling over 100 miles a week and back to almost full health. And if he had not done any of the strength work as well as just trying to get back on the bike, he probably wouldn't be in the position he is now. So yes, while it's important to do cardiovascular work, the strength side of things and how we load our joints is just different when we resistance train. So again, walking is not enough, unfortunately, in this case. So thank you so much for watching. A little recap, if you missed any of that, is resistance train, eat enough protein, and make sure you manage your stress. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more, I also have some programs available online that you can try for your first month for free if you're looking to find somewhere to get started. They are gym-based, but they are adaptable for all ages and abilities. So please shoot me a message, like, share, or subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you so much.